We have covered the work of M.Y. Halidom, i.e. Alexander Huth, in episode 530. We will cover his 1904 A Weird Transformation. This book is an example of Huth's inability to keep to a singular tone. The book begins with Philip de Sommarez asking his cousin Ethelgiva Darlington, who declared she had loved him, for her hand, and she refuses because she intends to marry a rich or titled nobleman to satisfy her and her father Sir Guy's cold, calculating ambitions. Spurned, Philip leaves her house and enlists to fight the Boers in the Transvaal, along with his trusted friend Pat Cullen, the son of his housekeeper Bridget. Then we spend the next 100 pages detailing Philip's entire family history, and spend a lot of time on his three ultra-religious aunts, headed by Aunt Tabitha, who wish to use young Philip to gain a future alliance with Ethelgiva Darlington to raise the prestige of the family. But after 100 pages of Aunt Tabitha angling to marry Philip's father Josiah, being scoffed at by Sir Guy, and pranks performed upon her and her sisters by Philip and his friend Pat, we have Tabitha meet the long-lost love of her life, the long-lost missionary Ezekiel Prodgers, who had been taken captive 30 years ago by a native tribe on a distant island, and had been tattooed from head to foot. Tabitha stops being her wicked self, marries her Ezekiel, and leaves with him to do more missionary work and is never seen again. And after what is essentially an unrelated domestic novel with humorous episodes, we get back to the present and none of this really matters whatsoever. During the war, Philip kills a villainous Boer named Franz Beerfontein, whose ghost pursues him maliciously until Philip gets killed at Spionkop and the Boer takes over his body. A theory several different people develop independently after meeting the new Philip, despite how fantastic it is. At the same time, Halidom once again uses the automatic writing trope he used for the sake of exposition in The Poet's Curse, and has Philip's spirit warn Ethelgiva by having her write a warning letter about her coming danger from his impostor. Ethelgiva, overwhelmed by the magnificence of Philip's character and the depth of his love for her. The Boer, in the meantime, goes to England, where he tries to destroy all Philip held dear, murdering his father, ties up Sir Guy in a library, then wishes to go defile Ethelgiva and strangle her, set the house on fire, and leave Sir Guy tied to his chair, hopeless to escape the oncoming flames. He also murders a man on the train and chucks Bridget down a well. All this in stark contrast to the first 100 plus pages, the tone being all over the place. Ethelgiva is saved by Lord Strathdown, a minor acquaintance from London. Pat Cullen, who seemed to be set up to play an active role in the story before being dropped out of it, is also torn to pieces by a passing train when his peg leg gets stuck in the rails. Then Ethelgiva decides to marry Lord Strathdown, and suddenly the writer feels the need to justify this union by going on about how poor of a companion Philip would have been. The man half the book spent portraying as an intelligent gentleman and brave soldier, whose love, vast beyond measure, extended even beyond the grave, and who was declared a superior person because of it. But now he was too young and boyish despite being several years older than her, and was impulsive and reckless, his nature lacking experience and depth, just so that the reader doesn't feel the narratively unsatisfying marriage to a rich noble, exactly according to those self-same demands and schemes of Sir Guy and his daughter, which the narrative actively portrayed as emotionless, calculating and manipulative, as being too annoying. Especially when Lord Strathdown barely appeared in 1.5 chapters before and had a single conversation with her.